Hey guys, welcome back. Hope you had a good week in the stock market. It is July 22nd, 2022. SPY pretty ugly into a red Friday. Markets we've seen selling off end of week pretty consistently. Just a lot of money doesn't want to hold over the weekend. Sub up, like up, comment down. Happy money sticks around. We're gonna look at GameStop. What's going on with this split? Why didn't we moon today? Follow us on Twitter at Happy Money YT. We have Discord server link for that's in the description. My chart's gonna look really weird because the split until they fix the charts. Probably be a couple more trading days. So I've got extended hours on. I turned moving averages off. Anyways, kind of hard to see what's going on here, but I think SPY just kind of taking a little break on this crazy bull run it's had. I'm not convinced that the bear market rally is over yet. I think, yeah, we'll wait for Fed, wait for Powell. And I think I'd like to see some more price action. There's still some gaps up here to fill. You can't see them right now, maybe. So yeah, we did fill that first gap to 400 right here, like I was saying. And now it's pulling back, and I think we'll just see if it holds support here, like 390 or even kind of where it's at now. Monday probably be a little bit red too, like today. Maybe come back down a little bit more here, this area, and then see if we could turn around Tuesday, another bullish week to bring us up here and see what happens once we get into the 415 area range. Tesla kind of kept ripping a bit, and now it's calming down some. Bullish plays in Tesla. I did close yesterday, looking for a re-entry maybe on Monday. Made some moves today, but mostly GameStop, just trying to figure out what is going on. So sold off today. It's kind of what I was imagining. Yesterday's move to the downside, I wasn't thinking that would necessarily happen, but when I started to see it, if you watch yesterday's video, that's when I closed a lot of my long positions and opened up some short positions, put debit spreads. And actually I closed some today. They were for next Friday, but I closed some today down here just because I imagined we'd get this little rally and I could reopen, which I did. So I closed those here and I reopened up here for next Friday, and I'll show you those. But like I was saying in yesterday's video, yesterday could have just been a one-day pullback, but I kind of thought it'd probably be at least 2 or 3 days, if not 4 or 5. Kind of like we've seen with other stock splits in recent history, where they've had a few-day pullback after, just people kind of trimming their position size, like Amazon here. Given, of course, GameStop's much different, but Google had its stock split. It rallied a couple days, but GME is totally manipulated and in a complete other realm from these stocks. So I think it's a combination of some profit taking, or rather position moving around, as well as SLD ending and OPEX obligations ending. Sometimes GME does run at the end of the month though, so possibly this is a 2-day pullback before we get a real big pinch out of this weekly bull flag that we kind of weekly broke out of. Only thing I'm looking for now is still just volume. So even this weekly volume is actually less than the last 2 weeks. So they adjusted the volume. So basically they times all the volume by 4 on Webull here. So today we have 8.7 million. Yesterday it says we have 9.2, but yesterday we had whatever, like 2, basically divided by 4, whatever it was. So yeah, and then some other examples of splits. I mean, Tesla's one where it took basically a month before it had a big rally, but even that one, I mean, this did have a share offering after, which contributed to that sell-off for sure, but then it kind of held up in that range before it started going crazy. It's theorized that this is from 35 days or so from options expiring and shenanigans that are done with the options chain and shorts position. So even with a share split via dividend, they don't necessarily have to close or cover by that day. They have, a month or whatever to start buying those shares on market to deliver. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I guess it would be the closest to this Tesla than it would be to Overstock, which is another example. Overstock's was, of course, it was a crypto dividend, which it's also kind of like a stock split because you were splitting one share to 10 or something, or 10 to 1. And so it's kind of like a stock split, but it's also a dividend, a crypto dividend. and it happened here. So it sold off the day before, split, and then kind of had the same sort of deal though, like a 5-day kind of meltdown, and then it just started to rally from there. So if GME starts to do this next week or the week after, yeah, it'll be pretty bullish. But I don't think we can compare it like this because overstock at this point I don't think was it was probably manipulated to the downside, you know, heavily shorted because of the squeeze that did happen. But as far as the cycles that it got caught in, probably not like GameStop. GameStop I think got caught in those cycles because so much retail buying pressure and then just not selling but holding. So at any rate, this crypto dividend did cause that rise to go, what was it? I think 100 or 700% or something ridiculous. Had it marked here. Yeah, it was like 700% from the split to the peak on their basically short squeeze, which would be neat. That would put GameStop I think in like 500 or something right now post split. So this wasn't a dividend. I think GameStop's probably heavier shorted, but they've had 2 years to plan this out and play this out. And at this point, I don't think we're seeing anything that's really related to split. I think this is just the typical type of movement we're going to see about this time. And so with that being said, it looks like it's over for now and wait till next quarter, next earnings. However, there is a possibility that the split did something in the back end and we don't know. And I don't think anybody knows. And if they do, they say they know, I think they're wrong. I don't think there's any way anybody knows. There may be some people know, but you're probably not going to hear from them. So if it did do something and we do see price action in however long, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month from now, then yeah, that could be the beginning of the squeeze, the 700% rip or whatever we're going to get on GameStop. TA wise, yeah, I'm still thinking down maybe a couple more days next week. See what the market does a little bit too. A lot of earnings next week. Snapchat basically crushed the market today with their awful earnings. The earnings actually weren't that awful. They just didn't give guidance. It was a very GME-esque earnings. No guidance and a stock split, which is basically a copy of GameStop. So they erased from their market cap. I don't know, it came down from $16 down to $10, but the overall tech market cap today erased like $900 billion, and it's because Snap is I think one of the earlier tech companies that reports. They did this last earnings or 2 earnings ago where they sold off and it basically just crushed the market coming into earnings season. So we'll see if that's what's going to happen with the other earnings, and then that would put a damper on my bear market rally and say that this might be the end. In fact, that being said, that daily candle is kind of engulfing, not quite, maybe we'll see. But yeah, so GameStop, I think it would be good if it could hold up in this bull flag that it's in, which would put a low on it in that 30 range down here. I mean, of course the lows are down here at 28, but if it stays up there, we keep that bullish MACD. I think that could be very good. And potentially if we start to see volume, really volume is what I'm waiting for, to see the real cycle happen like this and not just a move like this. This whole move right here has reminded me of even something like this, just on a larger scale, or not even like this, kind of like even a little one right here, or even the troughs. We used to call them troughs. So, or maybe it's the beginning of a much larger, longer move like back here, and it could be. So that's kind of the hope, that the cycle is broken and basically it's starting to crack now and we're kind of in the end game. So looking at the 200 moving average now, we are still above that. It did wick below it today. If we held above that, that would be very good. Let's look at the 50 here. So 50 is climbing up. If we can kind of hold some sort of price action up here, that 50 moving average will keep coming up. And if 50 crossing the 200 would be very bullish. Us staying over the 200 is good, but I don't really see that happening next week. I think we'll probably drop below it. And then we'll just look for basically supports, 34, 32, and then if we hold in the 30s, I think that would be good. We could hold in the 30s, otherwise might be back down into the 20s, high 20s. think so. Now I guess like the good buy range is, you know, a solid buy is anywhere around 20, just over, just around it. As far as news catalysts, of course, there's a lot of different news catalysts that could come out this weekend or whenever. Insider buying, I think they would probably wait until it's cheaper. Momentum's coming down. You know, they bought when it was down here, and they have a pretty good handle on what's going on, so they're most likely not going to buy on peaks, which is what we just had with the 160 was a peak, and maybe it's short-lived, but I'm not seeing that at this point. So yeah, charts are jacked with the moving average on there. So yeah, as far as price and liquidity, it's the spread between the bid and the ask is still pretty large. Let's see, it looks like it's tightening up right now, actually. Still pretty large. Options, yeah, I mean, everything you'd expect with a split, basically. You've got, it was so confusing coming into here because since I had all these extra ones, it made covered calls, and all my legs were all just spread out and weren't together anymore, that I had to go in and reorganize. But anyways, those two plays I opened up yesterday, I think I realized like 2,200 on them today, just from the drop today, because today we dropped like 8% almost to the bottom. So that was nice. And then I reopened, like I said, this one for next Friday. 1,700 max gain with a price target of 30, just under 31, I think. What's my 30 and a half? So if it closes below 30 and a half, that'll be max profit on that one. It's a 30 and a half, 32 and a half put debit spread for next Friday. And then still have this one, which now turned into a 137 and a half, 140 call debit spread. These shares times 4, which is now 2,000. And still I haven't gone long on shares on Webull yet or on TD. So what I did do on here though is I started shorting puts, kind of turning this into the wheel, or not the wheel, but the kind of the theta account that it is, but with other stuff other than GME, while GME comes down, because I got short puts on GME, but there's only a second day of it coming down, so I'm not gonna be too hasty. I'll wait till it gets a little closer, I think, a little closer to a bottom. So I shorted open puts. This is open door. They're at a nice price. It's something I'd like to hold in the long term at some point. The $5 puts for next Friday. I opened these this morning, and so they got crushed because these all came down a lot. Airbnb opened up a 103 put, and it's basically in the money now, down 43%. So we'll see. I feel like by next week those should be fine, but if GME starts going crazy, I'll buy to close these and just put it back into shares. Same with Fidelity. So Fidelity, I haven't used any more margin. I'm just kind of, I'm just sitting on the cash for now that we made on the last rally from 125 to 160. As far as options on E-Trade, here's all that weird stuff that they did for the split. Close out of some of the longs today. Should have done it yesterday, I suppose, but just the ones that had only, I think, 17 days or 14 days. Close out of those for the most part. Beto, and then Airbnb falls, and then here's those bearish plays I played on GME. I think I'm trying to go back long for more bear market rally, but probably need to wait till Monday. I have an order for Mara, really low order, and my Netflix calls were doing well. I could have closed them, but I just held them. Snap, of course, is way down, but I've got 28 days on this Snap position, actually, Snap calls. And if you look at Snap last time, it snapped back literally the next day, so not sure if we'll see anything like that, but here was earnings. Look, earnings dropped it way down here, and the next day, just tons of volume, and it ripped. So if we see a move like this on Monday or Tuesday, I think I'll be actually making money on those calls. Maybe. I mean, I'm sure all the premiums pretty much out of them now. They're down like 95%. Supply coming up here, probably back up to VWAP. GME's kind of already made its move to VWAP. The borrow fee times by 4. I don't think it means anything. I think it's just numerical error. I did see I saw everyone blowing up super strong. Borrow fee. I saw somebody even have a live chat with them asking if it's legitimate. The person on the live chat said yes, it is up that much. I'm not buying it in the sense that they're having to pay an additional 4 times as much as they were before, outside the fact that they have 4 times more shares. So if that makes any sense, or this is just a numerical error and it'll be fixed when charts and everything else gets fixed. So if this did jump up 4 times what it was, I think we would definitely see something going on. And it's like it happens on the same time as a split. I don't think that's a coincidence. I think it's just because we had a 4-for-1 split. But I guess I'm too much of a critical thinker, or is that just too cynical? I don't know. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Hope you had a good week. Hope you're able to make some money on the downside too. It doesn't, you know, it doesn't hurt to make money both ways. That's what the stock market's for. There's our split. It's so cool seeing a split. I've been waiting for a split for 2 years. This company finally did it. So thanks, guys. We'll see you on Discord. Peace out.